Having a history like Acura's is what most automakers today could only dream of. They were behind icons like the RSX, the Integra Type R, and of course, the NSX. Acura has built a reputation for speed, reliability, and perfect mix of innovation and performance. With nearly 4 decades of this perfect legacy, you'd think that they'd still be on top, but you'd be wrong. Today, Acura has a small lineup of overpriced and slow-selling models that no one seems to want. Last year, Honda did amazing sales numbers. Acura was the complete opposite and fell short. In this video, we're going to explore how Acura got here, highlight what's wrong with their current lineup, and discuss whether if they could truly turn things around or if they'll become another failed brand that struggled to find its place in the modern car market. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. Before I start this video, make sure to subscribe to Durant. I make weekly videos about the automotive world, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to support and show love to the growing channel. Your support means so much to me, and this channel wouldn't be possible without you guys. Anyways, let's get back into the video. Acura is a performance brand owned by Honda. Their history begins in 1986 with the launch of the Legend and Integra, the brand's first attempts at taking on European luxury sedans and compact cars. The Legend was an immediate hit, offering a reliable, luxurious driving experience at a price point that was much more accessible than its European competitors. The Integra, on the other hand, became a favorite among driving enthusiasts due to its sporty handling, affordable price, high customizability opportunities, and the availability of a high-performance GSR model. The Integra was considered to be one of the most iconic front-wheel drive cars of all time, and it's easy to see why. It really jump-started the brand, and their fan base appreciated them for who they really were at the time. However, it was the first generation NSX in 1990 that truly put Acura on the map. Developed with input from Formula One legend Ayrton Senna, the NSX was a groundbreaking supercar that offered incredible performance with reliability, making a more practical choice compared to exotic supercars from Ferrari and Lamborghini. In the early 2000s, the brand continued to make waves with models like the TL and RSX, which had a strong performance and loyal following. But despite the success of its iconic models, Acura's direction would soon start to shift in the years that followed. Throughout the 2010s, Acura started shifting away from what made the brand special in the first place, their performance models. As the decade went on, they focused more on luxury family SUVs. And the reality is, this decision broke the trust of longtime Acura fans. Acura seemed to believe that overpriced luxury SUVs were the key to a successful brand. In 2022, the NSX was discontinued, which finally severed the connection between Acura's traditional cars and the sports cars people once loved. In the early 2020s, Acura made some pretty decent decisions. They brought back the Integra, which, don't get me wrong, looks great, and it even comes with a 6-speed manual, which is definitely a step in the right direction, but it wasn't as cheap or accessible as the original. As a result, it suffered severe sales losses and contributed to Acura's declining numbers over the years. With fewer Acura enthusiasts left, many turned to alternatives like the Honda Civic Si or the Hyundai Elantra N for a sporty sedan. There are simply better and cheaper options in the market for those looking for an affordable, sporty ride. The same issue applies to the TLX. Sure, it's a solid car with decent power, but it's not the performance beast the original Acuras were. The handling isn't as sharp as older Acura models and competitors, and while the turbocharged engines in both the TLX and Integra are a step in the right direction, they still lack that raw, thrilling feel that made the original Acuras stand out. Overall, the Integra and TLX are stocked at dealerships, waiting to be sold, because no one seems to want them. It really feels like no one is willing to own a high-performance sedan anymore, and that's sad, because even though the Integra isn't as good as the original, it's still a decent car that has the potential to have a place in today's market. If Acura found out a way to make the Integra performance-based and priced fairly at the same time, it would have done numbers, but the Integra and TLX remain with so much potential wasted in them. Then there are their SUVs. Acura's luxury SUVs are overpriced and don't fit with the brand's legacy. These mediocre offerings are only contributing to their declining sales. Their SUVs like the RDX and MDX face tough competition for brands in the same price range, like BMW, Audi, and Lexus. They fall short in comparison to rivals when it comes to handling and driving experience, leaving them behind in a crowded market. But here's the thing, not many customers are looking for performance and a luxury SUV combined, and thus, Acura's SUVs fail to attract customers, because Acura is confused about who their cars are for. They want to still think that customers want performance and sportiness, but there are also customers who want more luxury, technology, space, and utility. So they combine them all into one car, making the price extremely high and out of reach for the average buyer. I think this is the biggest reason why they aren't selling anymore. They need to find a strong niche, which they are struggling to do at the moment. So if you were Acura in this situation, what would you do? Would you focus on improving your current lineup, offering the improvements people actually ask for, or maybe try to bring back sporty options to attract enthusiasts? Or would you even consider reinventing your identity in the ever-changing performance vehicle market? Unfortunately, Honda didn't do any of those things to the brand. Instead, they decided to release the Acura ZDX. This is a lackluster electric vehicle that brings absolutely nothing new to the table. It's not only extremely overpriced, but it's also one of the slowest selling cars on the market, probably contributing to the brand's terrible quarterly earnings last year. It's clear why no one wants to buy it, and it's not exactly drawing new customers. I personally never knew this car existed until I saw an ad for it on YouTube. At the time, it just puzzled me on how Acura of all brands would make an EV. It was obviously a poor decision, and it doesn't make any sense. Acura has failed to find its footing in the new market, and it's becoming increasingly obvious that they're struggling to regain relevance with performance enthusiasts and consumers alike. Not only that, but the ZDX is extremely overpriced. It could go up to $70,000, but at that price range, you should just buy a far better Tesla Model S or Rivian. The ZDX relies way too much on technology, and it's obviously trying way too hard to be futuristic to attract EV buyers. At this point, it's clear that Acura is trying to be cool again, but it's just not working. Their marketing choices have been odd, like the decision to create an anime. I watched all the episodes, and sure, it was well written and had a decent story, but what did it actually accomplish? It didn't offer any real value to enthusiasts or contribute to the marketing efforts that could have brought in new customers. In an age where driving dynamics and performance used to be at the heart of their identity, Acura now seems more interested in focusing on tech. While tech is important, making it the centerpiece of your brand over the driving experience is a big mistake. This shift towards tech first seems to be alienating the very customers who once flocked to Acura for its reliability, fun-to-drive performance, and practical luxury. With every year that passes, it feels more like Acura is just chasing trends, rather than sticking to the core values that made them great in the first place. So what's the future looking like for Acura? As of right now, it's not looking too good. Their terrible earnings and low sales might lead to them getting discontinued in a few decades if they don't make a change. They completely lost what made them special, that fun-to-drive spirit. Instead of offering performance vehicles, they're pushing out tech-heavy SUVs for the elite, which not even their current customers want, making them switch to other luxury SUVs from other brands. They've lost their old customers and are abandoning their new ones, all while killing off their future by not offering anything exciting or new for the brand. There's still some hope though. Only time will tell where Acura is actually headed. So now you might be wondering, how could you fix Acura's identity crisis? Acura still has a lot of potential to appeal to both enthusiasts and everyday customers, but it needs to make some key changes. First, it should refocus on performance by prioritizing models like the Type S variants. Offering more power, sharper handling, and a more engaging driving experience would be a start. The Integra Type R revival could be a game changer, bringing a manual transmission, sport-tuned suspension, and aggressive design to attract performance enthusiasts. Now, you might think Acura is just Honda's economy brand. While that's partially true, Acura has always been Honda's performance division. Honda makes the everyday cars the reliable, practical options for the average driver, while Acura is supposed to be the fun, driver-focused alternative. It was never meant to be a luxury brand chasing after BMW and Mercedes, nor an EV brand jumping on the latest trends, and definitely not a company obsessed with cramming gigantic touchscreens into every model. Acura was at its best when it struck the perfect balance between performance and practicality, offering cars that were engaging to drive while still being sensible enough for daily use. If they could return to that formula, they won't just win back enthusiasts. They'll bring in regular buyers too, making the brand relevant and respected once again. But this is unlikely to happen. Acura may be too far gone at this point, and they've dug themselves deep into a rabbit hole. At this point, there's not much hope left for the brand to redeem themselves. What do you think? Do you think Acura will stay how it is now, or do you think it could make an unexpected comeback? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Thanks for watching, and remember people, drive safe, drive smart, but most importantly, drive something worth talking about. See you in the next one.